Welcome back, everyone, to the High Tempo Sports, the High Tempo Sports Podcast, episode 91. It's been a while since we've got to make a new episode. We did episode 91 last Saturday, and it just did not. The file just got corrupted and disappeared. Very sad because we talked a lot. We did our Detroit Lions schedule preview. We did the whole schedule. We talked about the NBA play-in tournament because it was before the regular season ended. It was a really fun episode.
It was when we talk about disappointed, I don't know if we've ever both been.
It made me just want to stop doing the podcast.
Yeah, it was so upsetting.
And if you can't hear this one right now, I'm going to be really upset because today is going to be an even better episode. So I really, really hope that this one is out. So
I'd be insanely upset if you guys aren't listening right now.
Yeah. Anyways, how are we doing today, Easton?
Good. Sister's weddings today. It's not very nice out. It's rainy and poopy.
I mean, at least it's warm, I guess. But
yeah, I guess it's like a nice warmness. It's not hot.
Hopefully the sun comes out later. I don't think it's supposed to rain all day. So is the wedding outside?
Yeah, outdoor.
Oh, hopefully it's nice.
Hopefully, we can only hope.
Yeah, today's Saturday, and today is also the first day of the NBA playoffs. It's crazy that we're already in the NBA playoffs after this crazy season that we've had with COVID and with all the injuries and just the jam-packed, compacted season. It's finally here. We're at the playoffs. The play-in tournament is over. We're going to be going over that. We're also going to be going over our award, who we would give the award to because the finalists came out for all of the awards. We're going to be doing our All-NBA teams, defensive teams, rookie teams. We've done this before, but this is like the end of the year ones. And then we're going to be going through our playoff predictions. So
It feels crazy that the playoffs are here because it literally feels like the bubble was like 4 months ago. Like it literally feels like I just watched LeBron.
I missed the bubble.
Oh, we both did.
Like I was on Instagram and I seen bubble highlights the other day and I was literally just like, man, that is gonna go down as like one of the greatest just events ever. Like we're gonna talk about the bubble for years and years.
It was crazy. I mean, superstars were born in the bubble and then
they stayed.
Some of them.
TJ Warren will stay Jesus Christ of the bubble forever.
He was nuts. He was unbelievable. Dame won the Mickey Mouse MVP.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's the cool. What's the top 5 coolest award ever?
Yeah, the MVP, Mitch Trubisky. That's about it.
Huh?
The Nickelodeon valuable player.
Oh yeah.
Anyways, before we hop into all that talk, we have a little bit of baseball talk to do. Been watching a decent amount of baseball this year. Baseball has definitely been a lot easier to keep up with, and maybe it's because of the MLB The Show, but...
You weren't home last night when Miggy hit the grand slam.
No, I wasn't. I seen it on Twitter, though.
Dude, okay, so we're sitting there, and I'm like, Berryhill, why don't we have the Warriors-Grizzlies game on? He's like, bases are loaded with Miggy. Like, I'll change it after. I was like, no, let's change it. And Berryhill looks at me and goes, no. And all of a sudden, he's like, he's going to hit a grand slam. 2 pitches later, boom, out of the park, and we all lose it.
They've been hot lately. The Tigers have been winning a good amount of games. I can't believe Mickey did that, though. That was awesome.
It just felt like we were watching 5 years ago.
And, baseball has been a lot easier to keep up with this year, honestly. And, the other night, Berryhill, we were watching Wizards and... It was the first one, Wizards-Celtics, and he's like, we got to watch the Tigers. And I was like, hell no, we're watching this Wizards-Celtics game.
It wasn't enough.
Of course, happened to be that game that Spencer Turnbull threw the no-hitter. First exactly. Tigers no-hitter in 9 or 10 years. So
at this point, if Berryhill tells me to change the channel, I'm changing the channel.
He knows something is going to happen.
He's crazy.
But, that's kind of the topic for today is we're going to talk about this no-hitter situation in the MLB. If you have not been aware, there has now been 6 no-hitters thrown this season, and it is May still. We are 2 months into the MLB season, and there's been 6 no-hitters thrown. The record for most in a year is 7 ever. Or in modern-day baseball, it's 7. So, it is easily going to get broken unless no one else does the rest of the year. Spencer Turnbull for the Tigers threw one, and then the very next night, former Cy Young winner Corey Kluber threw one with the Yankees. And a lot of guys who aren't even top pitchers are throwing them. Turnbull really isn't. John Means from the Orioles, he's not a top pitcher. And it's cool seeing all these no-hitters and everything. But a lot of people have an issue with this because it's just the game is more boring, I guess, this year. If you did not know, here's just some statistics. Right now, the MLB, this was as of Thursday, so it might be different now, but The MLB is averaging which would be an all-time low in the sports history batting average across the league at 236. That would be the worst ever in a season, which is crazy in modern-day baseball.
That's insane, because baseball's supposed to keep getting better.
Exactly. And the reason this is because if you did not know, last year the MLB, with all their new rules and everything, when they made a whole new agreement with the Players Association, there's these new baseballs. The baseballs are actually different. The seams on the balls are different to make the players hit less homers or whatever, because there was an issue with the amount of home runs that were getting hit over the past few years. And the MLB just wanted to make a change to the game. And Clayton Kershaw has come out and said he thinks that all these no-hitters getting thrown is bad for the sport, just because it's not as entertaining. And as a pitcher, that's what he's the one saying that.
I'm trying to figure out at what point, if you're the MLB, are you like, yeah, we want less home runs. Like, please hit less home runs.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's like telling, hey, Steph, quit shooting so many threes. Like, why would you want that?
I don't know, but it's weird because the MLB is like definitely having one of its better. I think MLB The Show has a lot to do with it, but MLB is having one of its better like viewing rating years in a while with this horrible batting average. And batting is the most exciting part. I feel like the casual fan isn't going to sit there and be like, would you rather have a dude hit 3 homers in a game or a dude watch all 9 innings of a no-hitter? I mean, a no-hitter is a bigger accomplishment for sure.
But it's way more boring.
But as a casual fan, maybe if you are a diehard baseball fan, but as a casual fan, you want to see dudes hitting homers, hitting for the cycle, like crazy stuff.
Like the ideal final score for me is like 8-7, and like a no-hitter.
But a dude throwing a no-hitter on your favorite team, I mean, that's awesome.
Yeah, if I'm watching the Tigers and Spencer Turnbull is throwing a no-hitter, I'm going crazy. But like, if I'm watching the White Sox play and it's a no-hitter, I'm like,
well, yeah, and boring. I hate the White Sox, so it makes it even better. But yeah, it's weird with the MLB this year, like with everyone not hitting that well, and I think it also is taking away from the no-hitter. It's making the no-hitter not that great of an accomplishment. Like, it's with it being thrown this many times, it's almost like the triple-double, you know? Like, Russell Westbrook has made the triple-double, like, not that big of a deal.
Nobody cares.
Draymond Green had a triple-double last night in their playing game, like a crazy triple-double, and it's really not that big of a deal, just because, like, it's the way the game is changing. I don't know if that's going to – I don't think that's how the MLB wants the no-hitter to become like that, because the no-hitter in perfect game, that's a great accomplishment to do that in your career. So
I hope this is like one of those years where it's just a statistical anomaly. You know, there's 12 thrown this year, 14 or whatever, and then next year we go right back to 5. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just really hoping this isn't – because if this becomes a staple, like you said, it just diminishes the accomplishment. And then everybody's going to be like, oh, yeah, he threw a no-hitter, but who cares? Yeah. And it won't ever be like that because no-hitters.
No, and you got to have a point, though, because, like, there's these guys that are throwing no-hitters that aren't that great of pitchers. Turnbull is, like, he's not even the Tigers' best pitcher, and the Tigers' pitching rotation is pretty garbage. So, like, and he's throwing a no-hitter. It's just like, who is this guy? Yeah,
nobody cares.
It's like, yeah, he threw a no-hitter, but, like, it kind of shows that it's not that. No disrespect to any guy who's throwing a no-hitter, because, like, baseball, anyone can go out and have a great game on any given night. It's a very random sport. So, like,
and there's 162 games.
Yeah. But I don't know. It's an interesting topic. The Seattle Mariners have already been no-hit twice at home this year, so be funny if it happened again. So
baseball is getting a lot of attention this year, and it's not for it being great. Baseball is in the middle of very controversial things.
One thing we need to talk about is Shohei Ohtani. He is not getting talked about at all. He leads the league in home runs, and he is a pitcher. Like, that is it. It is crazy what he is doing for the Angels right now, because I feel like his two-way playing ability is going to change baseball. I really think that there's going to be, like, at least a guy on every team in the next few years that are, at least they're going to try to make the next Ohtani.
Because, so is he the one that was playing right field?
Yeah.
Like, he'd step out and play. That's insane.
He has like a 2-point-something ERA this year, and he leads the major leagues in home runs.
Did you see? So I saw this, and I saw a tweet that was like, "I don't get why it's a big deal. I did this in 6th grade."
Yeah, exactly.
Because he stepped off the mound and went to right field.
Oh yeah, like, he does that. When he pitches, and the days he doesn't pitch, he bats. He's DH or plays the field. A lot of people are saying that what he should do is just become just play right field regularly and focus more on hitting, and then becoming a closer, being the best closer in the MLB. I mean, he throws heat. He'll throw 100 miles per hour. I think that's the best
Yeah,
idea
that's
for him
genius.
because clearly he's a good hitter. So, I mean,
Yeah.
he's not batting 350 or nothing. He still has a good average, like 270, 280 something. But he's just not getting talked about enough for the like. I mean, I feel like he's the MVP. I mean, I know the Angels aren't that good, but like we've never seen a guy like Ben in modern day baseball like that. So.
I thought the White Sox rookie was leading the league in homers. Is he right there?
I mean, Otani took the lead the other day.
Yeah, I guess
so,
baseball every day it could change.
It changed. It's like
Yeah.
13, so yeah.
That is unreal. Like, could you imagine if he keeps this up? Oh yeah, this pitcher led the league in homers this year. I mean, I doubt that'll happen.
Yeah,
but that's
he
insane.
probably won't end up leading the league, but like, still, it's still just
crazy
to
this
watch
far.
him. Yeah,
2 months into the year, this pitcher is leading the league in homers.
him and Mike Trout on the same team, and they're not even above 500 records. So I think Mike Trout's hurt. But so is that pretty much it though for baseball talk?
Yeah, I think so.
We're gonna try to include some baseball talk, for
As we've been watching
on
more.
most episodes. So.
We've been watching.
But
a lot
let's
more,
get
so.
into the NBA talk. It's been an interesting year. I don't want to say it's been a great year. It definitely has been a weird NBA season. I'm ready for it to be a regular NBA season next year, 82 games, hopefully full capacity at stadiums.
Yeah, did you see that? Like, by the end of the playoffs, they're like expected like 80% capacity.
That's good. I've seen a lot of teams are having a lot of people in the stadiums, and for the playoffs, there's going to be a lot more people. So,
And like Gretchen came out and straight up just like said that the big house can be at full capacity next year. Huh? That's awesome.
Let's go.
I can't wait to watch.
Lions games. That's indoor. I don't know. We'll see.
I cannot wait for the big house to be packed. And the
We will
NBA
be there.
The NBA playoffs, if they can get through it, this whole finals, and they're slowly increasing capacity, they will set the tone right away that it is okay that we can do this.
Yeah.
I'm super excited.
So we're just gonna hop right into this. We want to start off with our awards.
Yeah.
So the way we're doing, if you didn't know, the finalists for every award came out, and we're gonna do our awards: All NBA teams, defensive teams, rookie teams, and this is not who we think is gonna win. This is if we had a vote, because the ballots were due the other day. Who we would give the vote to, who we think deserves it the most.
And we will both eventually have votes to give ourselves.
Yeah, I think we'll get there at some point.
I hope.
So, do we want to start off top, like with the biggest awards or with the least important awards?
Let's go with the
no
big.
offense.
Let's go with the big ones.
All right.
Right?
So, MVP. The finalists for MVP are the Denver Nuggets, Nikola Jokic, the Philadelphia 76ers, Joel Embiid, and the Golden State Warriors, Steph Curry.
So, right away, this award comes with a lot of this is kind of like the Russell Westbrook year, where Russell Westbrook wasn't on a good team and just went ballistic, and it was like, how do we not give it to him? And this is, to a lot of people, the same exact scenario with Steph Curry. He wasn't on a great team, and it's clear why. It's not like the team just underperformed. Like, there's an obvious, look at his roster.
Team ain't very good.
Yeah, team isn't good. However, missed the playoffs in playing tournament, but I'm going to give it to Jokic. He's the 3 seed. He balled out all year. Damn near averaged a triple-double. And he put up just like Steph Curry put up crazy games, Jokic has his fair share of crazy games.
Yeah.
But they happened a lot earlier in the season. There is recency bias that goes into this.
Mm-hmm.
And Steph's last month and a half was nuts.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's easy to look at that and say, yeah, Steph deserves it. But Jokic was crazy all year.
Steph Curry is being talked about a lot by everyone. A lot of players in the league are saying give the MVP to Steph, and I completely understand. A guy who's averaged 32 a game this season on being double-teamed pretty much damn near every play of every game this season. Like, I can't imagine how difficult that is, and I understand why the players would choose that. But I feel like a lot of people are just, and it's no hate to Steph, but I feel like the amount of attention Steph is getting is taken away from what Jokic has done this year. Jokic played in every single game this year. He did not miss a single game in this shortened season with the COVID restrictions, never got caught up in any of that, never got hurt, played in every back-to-back. I mean, that alone is like such a huge accomplishment to me. And for him to put up the numbers he did, Jamal Murray going out with injury and the Nuggets getting even better afterwards, I think Jokic is the clear-cut MVP, especially with Steph now missing the playoffs. I feel like there's no way, because even when Westbrook went crazy, his team was still like the 6th seed, and they still won like 45 games or something.
And
so
Steph just missed the playoffs.
Steph's team is like 1 or 2 games above 500 and missed the playoffs. Steph Curry, I seen something this morning that he's like the 3rd or 4th MVP finalist ever to not be on a non-playoff team or something, which is unreal. I mean, it makes sense though. I mean, the MVP is never going to go to a guy that is not in the playoffs. So
Yeah.
I expect the Warriors to be back next year, though, I assume. But I'm going
We'll
with
talk
Jokic.
about the Warriors. We'll talk about next season a lot.
Yeah, we
Come on.
will. We
I'm
will.
so excited to talk about it.
So, Rookie of the Year, let's go there next. Finalists for this award are LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, and Tyrese Halliburton. This one is closer than most people think, I feel like, just because while Melo Ball was injured, Anthony Edwards really took that leap, played more games, averaged more points per game, I know, but
And then Reese,
Tyrese Halliburton had a good year as well.
his numbers are crazy, and he actually has a 9% less usage rate than Melo, and like an 8% less usage rate than Ant. And a lot of people say, if you give him the ball more and blah blah blah, his stats
I mean,
are
he's
gonna look
teammates
crazier.
with De'Aaron Fox, so he's not going to be as ball dominant as those other 2 guys.
Which definitely affects your stats. However, that is part of the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
You going to a good team will make you less likely to win the Rookie of the Year
Right.
unless you're the best player on that team or one of the best players. Even though Melo was hurt this year, his stats were still unreal. Before the injury, he was first in points, first in rebounds, first in assists, leading all rookies as a
I
point
think
guard.
steals, too.
I think steal. Yeah, no, I think so too. And that's just that. And then he came back and was still good. Didn't make the playoffs, sadly, but I'm still going with Melo.
I'm going with Melo, too. I mean, before his injury, the Hornets were also and it was obviously before Gordon Hayward's injury, too, but they were like the 5 or 6 seed in the East. Like, weren't even in the play-in tournament. Like,
They were going to make the playoffs, straight up.
we're rocking the LaMelo Ball shirt today to give him props. He is the Rookie of the Year. Shout out to Anthony Edwards, though. It's close call between him and Sadiq Bey, but I got to give it to LaMelo Ball. Depoy is next. Defensive Player of the Year finalists are Rudy Gobert, Ben Simmons, and Draymond Green. This one is probably like the closest award, I think. Like as far as I would say, no offense to Draymond Green. I think it's a 2-man battle here between Gobert and Simmons. It's going to be, I really still don't know who's going to win it. I know who I gave my pick to, but we'll see. Who do you got?
I have Gobert winning this. I mean, number 1 seed in the Western Conference of all conferences, and a great defense. Gobert is clearly a great defender, and he's clearly valuable in this league, and that's something coming from a guy who was questioning how valuable he was going into last year and whether or not it's the right move to give him max. But I don't know. I think the Jazz have clearly made the right moves. They're in 1 seed. They're ready to contend, and they plan on winning the title this year. I'm giving it to Gobert. I was shocked to see. I didn't even know Draymond Green was in the conversation. Like, I had no idea.
I figured, I mean, I knew he was probably going to be an all-defensive first-team guy, but I didn't think he would be a finalist for this award. I figured Bam would probably be, or maybe even, like, Giannis again. I mean, I don't see why Giannis couldn't be, but, yeah, that is kind of surprising Draymond was in there. I did not give it to Rudy Gobert. I think Rudy Gobert is a great defender, on one of the best defenses in the NBA, but I gave it to Ben Simmons, simply just because Rudy Gobert is like a 2-time depoy. I know that this year is his best defensive year statistically or whatever. But Ben Simmons' ability to guard 1 through 5 on the best team in the Eastern Conference is just a little more valuable to me. I know Rudy Gobert, best rim protector. Like, trust me, I'm not taking anything away from him. But Simmons has never won the award, and I just like giving the award to newer guys, I guess. I guess that might be a crappy reason, but I find Simmons' abilities, his defensive ability, more impressive than Rudy Gobert's. So I feel like his is more of a individual defensive performance, whereas Rudy Gobert's is more of a team defense.
Yeah.
So
the defense is being funneled to him.
yeah, exactly. Whereas Simmons is like, all right, whoever we are playing against, you are guarding their best player.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what team it is, you're going to be guarding their best player. Point guard, center, don't matter.
And Simmons dropped 50 or 40 on Gobert.
Yeah. So I'm going with Ben Simmons for Defensive Player of the Year.
And that definitely, yeah. And the 1 through 5 thing is unbelievable that some players in the league can even think about doing that, And it's a select few. It's LeBron, Giannis, Ben Simmons.
I don't know about LeBron.
Not anymore.
Probably not anymore. But yeah, Giannis, Ben Simmons, Bam,
I was say Bam.
AD probably, Kawhi, maybe Kawhi.
Kawhi could probably guard
Maybe,
most
yeah.
fives in the league. What award next?
Let's go with most improved player.
Most improved player. Finalists: Jeremy Grant, Julius Randle, and
Michael Porter Jr.
Michael Porter Jr., which is 3 awesome candidates.
Yeah.
Because these are all guys, not Julius Randle. The other 2 guys were expected to make the jump and take that jump in their NBA career. But Julius Randle came out of nowhere this year. Knicks are what, the 4 seed?
Yep.
Knicks are 4 seed in the East. Blew everybody's minds this year. Blew all expectations out of the water. Most people didn't even have him making the playoffs. I'd say nobody had him making the playoffs.
Oh, yeah, I don't think anybody.
Except for Knicks fans, maybe. But it's got to go to Julius Randle.
I think I had them as a second worst team in the East, other than the Pistons, like in our preseason predictions.
And that's not crazy. Like,
No,
I'm
like
not
they're-
like, oh, that's a bad take.
Their roster's not much different
No.
than it
And
was last year.
Julius Randle's clearly the best player on that team.
Yeah.
And every time I watch the Knicks play, I'm sitting there going, holy shit, Julius Randle is
Yeah.
good. Like, he is a bully. He's like a
He
modern
really
day
has
Zach
changed.
Randolph.
Like he's changed his game a lot. Like Julius Randle's a guy that we used to shit on a lot. I remember Jagger drafted him in fantasy basketball, gave him hella shit for drafting him. Like, oh, good luck with him. Like, no, I mean he was really good this year. This was an award that at the beginning of the season I thought Jeremy Grant was for sure gonna get it, just simply because he like averaged like twice as many points per game as he did last year. But he was on the worst team in the NBA, a team that doesn't have a lot of scorers, so it's kind of understandable. Jeremy Grant definitely deserves to be a finalist, though, for sure. But I think this is 1,000% unanimous most improved player, Julius Randle, for all the reasons you said. I mean, the best player on a home court advantage team in the playoffs. So, you
And in
gotta
New
give it to
York.
Randle.
I mean,
for the
that's-
Knicks, too.
yeah.
I mean, like, it's just... It's cool. I mean, it's cool to see the Knicks good again with a star, I guess. I mean, Julius Randle is now a superstar. I don't think that's a reach to say that. So I'm going with Randle for
Yeah,
MIP.
if you're the best player in the Garden, I think you're a superstar.
Yeah.
And especially if you're a playoff team in the Garden, you're a superstar. He probably can't.
Was
walk
Julius
through New
Randle
York.
a top base this season only? Was he a top 15 player in the NBA this season?
Yeah, probably.
I'm trying to think if top 20 probably for sure.
Top 20 for
but
sure.
15, it's kind of hard to think about it right now. I would say he's like probably right on the right
Like
in
15
that area. He's
15
probably
through
like
20.
13th or 17, somewhere in there.
I would love to. We gotta do that list. We gotta do that list because now I'm curious.
Yeah. Sixth man of the year. Finalists are Jordan Clarkson, Joe Ingles, his teammate, and Derrick Rose.
I'm not sure how 2 players on one team get 6th man of the year. Who's the 6th man?
7th man
Like,
of the
huh?
year. I mean, it was like last year, Lou Will and Montrezl Harrell were both finalists.
Yeah, I guess. I'm definitely. I think this one's another no-brainer. It's Jordan Clarkson. He has been unreal coming off the bench, and everybody knew going into this season that he'd be right there for this award,
Yeah.
and that it's kind of his award to win or his award to lose. Maybe it's the better.
I
way
think
to
Jordan
word it.
Clarkson's going to be a guy that, like, maybe not the next Lou Will, but as far as, like, he's going to be a guy that's in contention for 6th man of the year, I feel like for the next, like, 5 years at least.
As
Like,
long as he's coming off the bench,
he's going to be, like, I feel like, and he will. I feel like that's kind of going to be his thing, like, trying to be 6th man of the year every year. He definitely could be the next Lou Will. I mean, he comes off the bench and just straight up gets buckets. He does. I mean, his efficiency wasn't the greatest this year. He would have a lot of games where he would come in and be 0 of 6 in the first few minutes and shoot pretty bad the whole game. But he would also have games where I think he had a few games this season where he dropped 40 off the bench. Like, that's unreal. Derrick Rose was really good off the bench this year for the Knicks. I definitely think that he just is going to get some votes, but I'm going with Clarkson as well.
Coach of the year.
Coach of the year, the last award. I didn't do executive of the year, so
I don't know any executives.
probably the
other than-
Nets GM for trading for Harden, probably.
or Troy Weaver for being the GOAT.
Yeah, probably him too.
Who are
Coach of the year, though.
finalists? I have my
Finals for
pick.
Coach of the Year are Monty Williams, who was voted Coach of the Year by the coaches, Quinn Snyder, and Tom Thibodeau.
I went right away with the New Yorker, Tom Thibodeau. Took a Knicks roster that was not much different than it had been in the prior seasons and just made them the best defense in the league. And obviously they have a lot of defensive players. RJ Barrett was a guy that we knew coming to the league, had the defensive ability and the defensive prowess. It was there, it just needed to be unleashed. He had to turn into a defender. Julius Randle, lockdown defender. Emmanuel Quickly, lockdown defender. Alfred Payton, lockdown defender. The list goes on and on for these guys who can just play defense on this team, and then you match them with the best defensive coach in the league. They were crazy. I mean, that's why they're the 4th seed. I gave it to Tibbs for the sheer improvement without a lot of new players. The reason I didn't give it to Monty Williams is because he also brought in Chris Paul.
Yeah.
And, like, that's not all the coach. You got to give a lot of credit to Chris Paul there. Mm-hmm. So that's where I give it to Tom Thibodeau. Basically the same roster, just way better.
Yeah, Monty Williams was voted Coach of the Year by the coaches. I like that he got some love. I don't think he's going to win the award. So I like that he is getting love from the other coaches because he does deserve it. I mean, that Suns team has not made the playoffs for so many years, and they finally do this year in a big way. Second best record in the NBA, almost the 1 seed. I think Quinn Snyder definitely is not getting talked about enough just because his team is the best team in the NBA this year. Like, who would have thought the Jazz would be the best team then? I mean, I knew they were going to be, a good team, but the best team in the league, like, did not expect that. They shot the ball really well this year, played really good defense.
I think it's one of those things with him. It's like they've been good for so long. It's kind of just like, until he gets over the hump, he probably won't win Coach of the Year.
I mean, what other hump does he have to get over? It's a regular season award.
I know, like win more. Like, I don't know. I feel like people don't think Quinn Snyder is great because of his playoff experience, his playoff history.
But I mean, Coach of the Year is a regular season.
Yeah, I know.
Award,
but basing it off his prior years, you don't think he's that great because of the prior seasons.
But anyways, I went with Tom Thibodeau as well. Like you said, they're the best, one of, if not the best defensive team in the NBA this year. Julius Randle's improvement, he dedicates a lot of it to Tom Thibodeau. Said Tom Thibodeau held him accountable all year, and he's never had a coach that has done that. And you look at how much they improved with, like you said, a not very good roster. I mean, he brought in a lot of veteran guys that had a huge role to this team. Derrick Rose, Taj Gibson, he brought back to New York, had a really good year. Even like Reggie Bullock had a pretty solid average, like 13 a game this year. Like a guy who looked like he was going to fall out of the league. Alec Burks had a really good year for them.
That's the guy I was trying to remember.
So many guys on the Knicks just like had a pretty good year. Guys that shouldn't really have had a good year. And I think the Knicks are in contention to have a pretty good offseason this upcoming year just because of they're going to have some money. There's not too many big free agents left on the market, but they could get a good guy and maybe elevate themselves even further. So I'm going with Thibodeau for Coach of the Year as well. I think he's got one too. I think he won one in Chicago, so I think this would
probably
be his
has
second
the one
one.
Seed.
I think so. So yeah, that's our awards. I think we had pretty much all the same ones except for Depoy. So
yeah, I think so too. I don't think we had a single different
one.
And
I think Depoy is the only one that's really like a competition too. So
me too.
So let's get into all. And do you want to do rookie team, defensive team first, or the NBA all NBA teams?
We can go
first?
all rookie team first.
Right. All rookie teams. Let's go with all rookie first team. The all rookie teams aren't position based, so it's kind of just the 5 best rookies. So my all rookie first team is LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton, Sadiq Bey, and Emmanuel Quickley.
I have the exact same first team.
I went with Quickley over any of the other guys like Jayshawn Tate, Isaiah Stewart, just because Quickley's production in his minutes were really well. He only played like 18 or 19 minutes a game this year.
He started off slow.
Fewest amount of minutes out of like any of these guys by far. So, and he played really well. He shot like over 40% from 3 and was pretty good. So I went with Quickley.
In a full season, he might be the all-time. He might have ended up breaking the 3-point record.
Quickley?
No, Sadiq.
Yeah, I was talking about Quickley.
I thought you were talking about Sadiq.
No, I was talking about Quickley.
Okay,
yeah,
Quickley.
Sadiq probably would have broken the record in a regular season, yeah.
Well, and the thing about Sadiq, and like he needs the nod, he didn't play much at the start of the year.
Yeah.
Like he didn't really start balling until the back half of the season. Mm-hmm. And he just balled out to get to this first team point. And
Sadiq Bey is, like, I think, no doubt first team All NBA.
I hope so.
First team All Rookie.
That too.
Hopefully he'll get there at some point. And then second team for me, I had Jayshawn Tate, Isaiah Stewart, Desmond Bane, Patrick Williams, and Xavier Tillman.
I had the exact same list except for Patrick Williams for Campazzo.
Oh, okay.
Baller.
Yeah, he was pretty
top team in the league.
Cool, yeah.
But Patrick Williams is one of the most underrated rookies. He just didn't get any love this year. Like, nobody gave
just
Patrick Williams
everyone thought
love.
He was a reach and everything. Yeah, I think he had a pretty good season, honestly.
He did. Oh, he definitely did. I agree.
You agree, but you didn't have him as an on-rookie team?
No. He wasn't that great. He had a good rookie year.
Yeah.
All
so
defense.
Let's move to all defense. All defensive first team for me was Ben Simmons, Drew Holiday, Draymond Green, Giannis, and Rudy Gobert.
The exact same list.
It's funny because I did my list for literally everything, and then I just looked up on the internet just to see like another list, and CBS Sports made theirs like yesterday, and mine was damn near like every single thing was pretty much almost the exact same, and I was like, well, great, now I'm just gonna look like I'm basic as hell. Like
You copied CBS Sports. Is that what you did? Huh?
pretty much, yeah. And then my all-second defensive team was Marcus Smart, Mikal Bridges, Kawhi Leonard, Jimmy Butler, and Bam Adebayo.
And my team looks completely different here. I have Matisse Thybulle, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Bam Adebayo, and Joel Embiid.
Oh, okay, yeah, I like that.
Embiid
I
was
kind of forgot about Matisse Thybulle. That's a good one. I kind of forgot about him.
yeah. The guards for, and I know it's not position based. Like you could literally go out
Yeah,
there
I
and
mean the
have five
defense
centers.
technically is guards, or technically is position based, but
I'm moving Mikal Bridges to a guard.
that's what I did. Yeah.
Like he's got to be a guard.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to say about that one? So let's move on to the All NBA teams. This one is a little different.
This one's so hard.
They changed like the positions a lot this year. Pretty much every wing player classifies as a guard and a forward. Every center except for Rudy Gobert classifies as a forward as well. So
Huh?
yeah, literally every center you can put at forward except for Rudy Gobert. He's the only one that isn't. Like they made like their list for what every player classifies as, and Rudy Gobert is the only player in the entire like league that is just a center for these awards.
That's the weirdest thing I've heard.
I mean, I kind of like it how they're making it, because I mean, Jokic and Joel Embiid, them dudes did not play a minute at power forward this year. So
Yeah.
but yeah, let's go through it. So my first team All NBA, this one took me like a minute to really. The guards is really tough for me. And it's really hard because of the injuries this year too.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of guys that deserve to be here, but they missed a good amount of games. So it's like, where do I put them? First team All NBA for me. My two guards are Steph Curry and Luka Doncic. My two forwards are Giannis Antetokounmpo and Joel Embiid, and my center is Nikola Jokic.
I have the same guards. I have Curry and Luka. At forwards, I have Bron and Jokic, but it's really just
Yeah.
Bron and then Embiid at the center.
So no Giannis.
No Giannis.
Really?
He made my second team.
Okay.
I'll throw that
Okay.
out there.
Interesting. Yeah, LeBron is a weird one just because he missed a good amount of time, especially at the end of the year. So that's going to make people not want to put him on their team. I didn't put him on my first team just because I feel like Giannis played a lot, was out for less time this year and everything, and his team was better. So I just went with Giannis over LeBron. And Joel Embiid is a MVP finalist. So
And that's just it with the difficulty is the injuries were crazy.
They make it really hard.
Every dude missed like 16 games this year, I swear. And that's not actually the case because, like you said, Jokic played every
And
game.
it feels like guys missed more time than they actually did because of the shortened season. Like James Harden and LeBron. Like, who do you think missed more time?
Harden.
Yeah, it seems like Harden played, but like they played like the same amount of games this
Yeah.
year. Joel Embiid and LeBron. It seems like Joel Embiid played way more than LeBron. They played like the same amount of games this year.
Yeah,
too.
and that's just, it's unreal. It's so weird.
Yeah. So, the injuries make it a lot harder. My second team, I have Dame Lillard as one of my guards. I was really wanting to put him over Luka, but I think Luka just had a better statistical year and his team was better, so I had to give it to Luka. But my second team guards are Dame Lillard and Chris Paul. And then my forwards are LeBron and Kawhi Leonard, and my center is Rudy Gobert.
Okay, that makes sense. So my guards, I have CP3 at one guard. I have Harden at the other guard. At the 3 and 4, Giannis and Kawhi. And at the 5, I have Anthony Davis.
Okay.
I made
Really,
him-
AD? He missed
I made
a
him the
lot of
center,
time this
but he
year.
balled out. Except for the last game we watched of him, he did not.
He kind of balled out.
The thing was, before the injuries with AD and LeBron, they were like you can say, okay, we'll look at their seed. Their team was worse, but AD and LeBron were out at the same time. Like they both were gone. They were playing. The Lakers were playing AD and Bronless.
AD over Rudy Gobert. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a tough case.
And I can see it, but I also I don't know. I'd take AD, and I think AD had a better year. If AD and I can say this, and you can say this confidently, you can say this for a lot of guys. If AD and LeBron are both healthy all year, the Lakers are probably the 2 seed.
Well, yeah, but
And you can
yeah,
make
like
that
you said,
case
you
for
could
a
say that with any
lot
team.
of guys.
Third team for me, my guards. I'm going to say I didn't have James Harden on the All-NBA team because I didn't know what to do with him with the injuries. Same with KD. He missed a team for me. But I had Kyrie Irving. I feel like one Brooklyn net at least has to make it. Kyrie was 50, 40, 90 this year. Super, like, quietly was 50, 40, 90. Everyone is saying, oh, Kyrie, like, I seen an appreciation post about him on Twitter about it, and all the comments were like, yeah, he played like 5 games this year. He played like 2 games. Like, dude, Kyrie only missed like 15 games this year. Like, he really did not miss many games. I have Kyrie, though, as one of my guards. I have Bradley Beal as the other one. I think he deserves some love. Almost was a scoring champ. And my forwards are Jimmy Butler and Julius Randle. And then my center is Bam Adebayo.
Whoa, that is a crazy different list than me. You didn't have AD making it at all?
I don't think AD had a good year. He averaged like 21 and like 8 this year on pretty poor efficiency.
I guess, but you got to look at his defensive ability.
And he didn't play that much.
The Lakers
he really like missed a lot of time this year.
The Lakers were the best defense in the league, technically, statistically.
I know, but AD missed a lot of games. Like, and he wasn't even an all-star.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't think AD really like had that good of a year, honestly.
I guess. We'll see. My guards for this third team, I have Damian Lillard and Donovan Mitchell. Got to give love to the Jazz. At forwards, I have Kevin Durant and Jason Tatum. And at the 5, I have Gobert.
No Julius Randle, All-NBA
Julius
player?
Randle.
Really?
I think I had him as All-NBA like a few weeks ago.
That's the thing. I have 2 Miami Heat making the All-NBA team, and both of them weren't All-Stars, so I feel like both of them probably won't make it, but one of them deserved to, and Jimmy Butler really did have he had a really good year this year. So
He did. He had an underrated
28 and 8 or 27 and 7 and led the league in steals too. So
very underrated season from Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, but like I said, the All-NBA teams is so difficult to just because of the injuries. If I wish that they just like wiped injuries. Like they should just wipe positions too. Like the top 5 best players, the next 5 best players, and then the next 5.
Yeah.
That's what it should be.
Screw position.
Like because
basketball's positionless.
Honestly, having to put a center in there like really sucks. Like Bam Adebayo like was not a top 15 player.
No.
But I have him in here because I think he was the 3rd best center, if counting Joel Embiid and Jokic on my first team. So like Rudy Gobert wasn't the 2nd team all center. Like
no, he doesn't deserve to be a top 10 player in the league.
Exactly, yeah.
Like I'm sorry, Rudy Gobert, but you're like an 89 overall in 2K, dude. Like you're just not on that level.
Yeah.
And I agree. And basketball is positionless. It's a different game. A lot of these guys, Draymond is not a power forward. I'm sorry.
Draymond isn't at anything.
He plays. He goes out there and he plays basketball. LeBron is not a small forward. He goes out there and he just plays.
Yeah, he's a anything.
And
he's a point guard pretty much. I mean, yeah.
And then Jokic, he's not a center.
Yeah.
He's the farthest thing from a center.
He's anything.
He is everything. And that's just where basketball is positionless. All NBA teams need to be positionless as well. I don't care what their position is. If they are a top 15 player in the league, they
and I
should
think
be
them
there.
doing these position restrictions, loosening them, is kind of a start to that.
Yep.
And I think that hopefully it can change it because I think they should change it for All-Stars too. I don't get why the All-Star game is still based on guards, and I think it should just be the top 12 players in each conference.
Well, I remember because a couple of years ago, the center position was dying because no centers were getting in the All-Star game. Like KD was starting at the 5.
DeAndre Jordan was first team All-NBA in 2014 or whatever.
Which is a joke.
Andre Drummond was an All-NBA center one year. Like for a while the centers were like, it was a struggle to.
And then in the All-Star games, there weren't centers.
Like, and then they started making AD a center in the All-NBA teams, and I was like, all right, now let's just help us a little bit. They got to start making Giannis a center if Joel Embiid and Jokic fall off.
They got to do a lot to keep the center position alive.
Yeah,
because the center just doesn't exist in basketball anymore, really.
I mean, Joel Embiid, I would say is a center. I would say that he is like a modern, or just he is a center. Jokic, yeah, definitely not. Rudy Gobert is definitely like a center.
Yep. And there are a lot of centers in the league, but they're not the dominant ones.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, just
Drummond
basketball
is a center,
just different. Yeah,
but like he's not dominant. Like he just goes.
Yeah.
He's just a center.
Exactly.
So there's not a lot of dominant, true centers in the NBA anymore.
So let's talk about the play-in tournament. Play-in tournament was super fun. We talked about our opinion on it. It's we never got to hear it, so don't feel like talking about it again. But let's start off with each game. So the first game, Boston versus Washington. This was a pretty good game. Russell Westbrook didn't have a very good game, but I really didn't know who was going to win going into this one. I was rooting for Washington. Don't really like Boston. No Jaylen Brown for Boston, so I didn't know what to expect. And Jason Tatum came out and dropped a 50-piece in the play-in. Kemba Walker, I think, had almost 30.
He had 28.
Yeah, he was up there. Like, both of them dudes played really well and won the game for Boston. Tatum was just hitting tough shot after tough shot. Like, it was all like he was going off against Bradley Beal. They're like, him and Bradley Beal are really good buddies. They went to the same high school, so it was kind of cool to see them like talking shit to each other. But yeah, Boston won that one.
I could not believe that Jason Tatum came out and had a 50 ball. However, I was watching, I must have been Kenny's thing, and Jason Tatum this year against the Wizards had like 39, 44, and like killed the Wizards every time they played. And apparently Bradley Beal is the matchup every time because it was the only guy that can even kind of guard him. But
I mean, Tatum just shoots over him.
Yeah, he's just way too short to guard
Bradley
Tatum.
Beal, I do think, is an underrated defender. Like, and he was playing on an injury too, so I mean, Beal had he had a good game for his ability, I guess, in this game, because he's definitely not 100%. You can tell while he's out there, he's limping pretty much the whole time. But yeah, Washington lost this one. It was a really good game, but Boston advances to the 7th seed.
I could not imagine Jason Tatum before the game. I can't imagine how excited he was to have Bradley Beal guarding him with a strained hamstring.
Now they got to go play against Kyrie Irving in a 7-game series. So
intense.
We'll see how that goes.
I'm kind of. I hope Marcus Smart is okay because I really want that matchup. That Kyrie Marcus Smart matchup. Oh my word!
Who the hell is Kemba gonna guard? Harden?
It's the only option.
Which one Kemba guards is gonna go nuts.
He's gonna get torched.
Dude, okay, I don't want to talk about it till we get to it. But, let's advance to the next game. The game that was. Or I guess, actually, I completely skipped the other one. The one that was before that.
Pacers.
Charlotte versus Indiana. Didn't watch it. Pacers killed them.
Wasn't
glad I didn't watch it.
It was a tank off.
That's all we need to say. O'Shea Brissett said, get they bum asses out of here or something. Next, Memphis versus San Antonio was actually a good game. Memphis got off to a huge lead, and me and Barry Hill were like, man, this game is over. Let's go to Menards. We left and had to go get some stuff from Menards. Came back and it was like tied, and they were up by like 25. And it was like, okay. So then it was a good game, but Memphis still ended up winning. John Morant played pretty bad in that game, actually, in the San Antonio game, but Memphis won. So San Antonio didn't make the playoffs, gonna get a lottery pick. But then on to the big game on Wednesday night, Lakers Warriors. We had to stay up for this game, man.
Yeah, and this was a late one for us.
Just so you know, like, if you don't know us that well, we don't stay up late no more. Like, we are not up past like 11 o'clock.
No, we are in bed at 11.
Very rarely we're up past 11 o'clock, and this game started at 10 o'clock. So like,
you can imagine us laying on the couch.
It was just hard to stay. Okay, honestly, it was way more hard to stay up for the Boston-Washington game the night before that started at 8 or whatever. This game, it wasn't that difficult to stay up for.
But there were moments in the game where my head started drooping. I was like, I gotta stay awake. Like, I can't. Holy moly.
Super good game. Steph Curry was going off. Draymond was playing really well. LeBron and AD started off the game really poorly. Like, Dennis Schroeder played really poorly. And it comes down. LeBron hits the crazy deep shot to go ahead and win.
He can't even see.
I thought that the Warriors were going to win the game.
Me too.
I really did. Like, just the way things were going. And that's another testament to, I think, not how good the Warriors are, but kind of how bad not how good the Lakers are, kind of how bad the Warriors are, just because the Lakers had their 3 best players playing like absolute dog trash, and Steph Curry was playing well and going off. And they still weren't, like, winning.
Still weren't good enough.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, LeBron had a bad game and still had a 22-point triple-double. So,
and I don't even know. The Lakers played so bad.
AD played pretty bad, dude. He played pretty bad.
The fact that was the game-winning shot in general, that was an awful shot.
Oh, and that was just like, that wasn't even LeBron's fault because KCP drove in the paint and with 2 seconds on the shot clock, kicks it out to LeBron, who's
40 feet away.
6 feet behind the three-point line. Like, what are you doing? And LeBron takes this horrible shot in Steph Curry's face while he's blind because he got poked in the eye by Draymond Green.
He can't even see, according to him.
And drains it. Like, I can't believe he made that.
And
that was crazy.
And I don't think that was a lucky shot. Like, he followed through, perfect arc, didn't chuck it.
Well, yeah, and he shoots deep shots a lot, too.
And
so
that shot was an over Steph, of all people. But
legendary shot. It was just cool seeing Warriors Cavs again because not Warriors Cavs, LeBron Curry, just because we've seen it so many times in the past, and
it's about a minute.
Yeah, and it's cool to see LeBron come out on top again against Steph. And then into going into the 8 seed game. So the first one, Washington versus Indiana. I did not get a chance to watch this game at all.
Wasn't this one a blowout? I think I started.
No, yeah, we did. Yeah, I did watch this game. Yeah, Washington killed them.
Yeah, it wasn't even a game.
Yeah, I watched like the first quarter of this game, and it was already over. I watched it till halftime and quit watching. Washington wins, and they advance to the playoffs. What a turnaround to the season for them. They were 15 or 16 games under 500 in April and ended up making the playoffs. So it's huge for them. Russell Westbrook had a really good game in this game. And now we get to see Westbrook versus Embiid for a 7-game series. I cannot wait.
It's going to get intense.
They have the two of the players that have the most beef in the NBA between them two. We haven't seen them have beef since Russ's OKC days, so I'm excited to see this. Like, I cannot wait to see that.
I can't wait to watch Joel Embiid in the playoffs. He's just such a prick. All he cares about is winning and nothing else.
So let's talk about the loser for a sec, Indiana. What is Indiana's game plan? Because they are a team that is really in a weird spot because they have I would say a star young player in Sabonis. They have pretty good pieces around them, but players that aren't going to get probably too much better. Like Malcolm Brogdon is probably in his prime.
TJ Warren,
he's been hurt all year, but Miles Turner is probably not going to get extremely better. Karis LeVert is probably going to get better, but not, I wouldn't say like an extreme amount better. He might be a borderline all-star player. But they have a good roster, but they just have not been able to make it out of the first round of the playoffs. And then this year they don't even make the playoffs. They're going to be in the lottery for the first time in a while. So is it time for Indiana? Because it's hard to hit the reset button when you have two young stars in LeVert and Sabonis. So
it's even harder when like they don't have any guy with an insane amount of value. Like I think, in all honesty, if they were like, yeah, we're trading Sabonis, there'd be teams interested, but they wouldn't be like, oh, yeah, we'll give you 6 firsts.
Yeah, exactly.
And, like, the moment the Pacers like, yeah, we want 4 firsts, every team's like, we don't want them that bad.
And I don't think they trade Sabonis. I definitely do think they keep him, but it's just I think they might blow up everything else around him. But I don't know. It's weird because what do they do? Because like if they can't get, I don't know how they get better, but I don't know how they get worse if you keep Sabonis and LeVert. So they're in a really weird spot.
I honestly think you just roll with it and you just hope that it works. But like this team is never going to make a finals appearance with this roster.
I mean, they're never going to win a playoff series, I don't think.
See, I think they could. That's the thing. Their roster to me,
thing is, I don't think their roster is top 4 in the East worthy. And if they're not top 4, I don't see them winning a series. I don't see them like upsetting a team as the 6th seed, upsetting the Milwaukee Bucks, you know?
Yeah, I'm not sure you can ever be a top 4 team in the East, and this is
with their roster.
With Sabonis being your best player.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how good your second best player is, I guess.
Look at everybody else's best player in the East.
But then you look at the Knicks. How much is Sabonis better than Julius Randle?
No.
But it's close.
It is close.
He might be better. It's close. And I think the Pacers have a way better roster than the Knicks.
Yeah, it is close.
Yeah. So, I mean, it just depends on, I guess, your coaching staff and everything, too. But, yeah, this Pacers are in a really
I would hate
spot.
to be a Pacers fan.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the Pistons.
It would be pretty
few
weird,
years ago. Like, I would hate it.
But, yeah, the Pacers, they're done for. They're going to be in the lottery. And then last night, we had Memphis versus Golden State for the 8th seed. Memphis playing in the play-in tournament for the 8th seed back-to-back years.
What a classic.
Ja Morant was not going to go down 2 years in a row. I just want to say before we give Ja Morant all this love, because he does deserve it. I mean, he had like 39 points or 35 or something. Shout out to like everyone else on Memphis's roster last night. Dylan Brooks, when he was guarding Steph Curry, was locking him up. Desmond Bane had that and one dunk to seal the deal at the end. Grayson Allen hit 2 threes late in the game.
Overtime, right?
Yeah, and I think it was OT. Yeah,
I think it was like the start of OT.
He shot like 4 or 5 from deep. Xavier Tillman hit a clutch-ass 3 in the corner, like a really clutch 3. Kyle Anderson played really well. Jaren Jackson only played like 15 minutes in this game. I think he's still on minute restrictions of some sort. He was in foul trouble, though, when we were talking about it.
If you were a Grizzlies fan,
that team played really well.
If you're a Grizzlies fan, you should be so ecstatic because your roster,
youngest team in the NBA to make the playoffs, maybe ever. I see they said they put something on the screen last night about how they were the youngest team maybe since a long time to make the playoffs.
you should be ecstatic.
Since the Thunder, that's what it was.
Your team is built to be an NBA contender in 4 years. I mean, Jaren Jackson, John Morant, Dylan Brooks,
and they're a
Kyle
team
Anderson.
they could compete in free agency this next year.
Why
too.
not?
Well, I mean, I'm not
Who
saying
wouldn't want to play with
I'm not.
those
Yeah,
guys?
I'm not saying that they're going to go out and get Kawhi Leonard this offseason, but why couldn't they go out and get DeMar DeRozan? You know, why can't they get Kyle? I know, like, he doesn't fit.
A Chris Paul-esque player.
Yeah, just a guy that's like not a superstar, but on that tier below. Yeah, just a good player that is in this class. Like, they could get Andre Drummond. You know, I mean, I'm not saying he's good for them, but it's just guys that are on that tier.
And they imagine them with one of them.
Yeah.
Imagine Ja with like a vet who knows exactly what he's doing
I
all
think
the time.
DeRozan on the Grizzlies would be nice because he's a good playmaker. He obviously, the shooting, he doesn't bring the great shooting, but still,
I mean,
like,
you can play him at
he's
the
just
four.
a way better Kyle Anderson.
Yeah,
It's like literally.
And absolutely. And then you have Jared
But Kyle
Jackson
Anderson's
can shoot.
fine. Like we were
Every team can sacrifice and have one player who can't shoot on the floor. You can sacrifice
as
that.
long as, especially if they do other things really well, like
Yeah.
DeRozan. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Memphis wins this game. Golden State misses the playoffs. I can't, crazy that they missed the playoffs. Draymond had a good game. Curry had a good game, but it just wasn't enough.
Oh my word, Poole had a good game.
Poole had a good game. Yeah, he was hitting some clutch shots too.
It was basically Michigan versus Michigan State.
Yeah,
in the overtime.
because Poole hit that three, and then Tillman came down to hit that one, and we were going
And Poole hit
crazy.
another one.
Yeah, that one he hit in the corner was really good. Golden State though definitely shouldn't be disappointed. I think they overachieved this season, especially with Klay Thompson going out. Kelly Oubre really didn't play like the back half of the season that much. He didn't play I think he's been hurt. So Wiggins actually had a pretty good second half to the year too. He had a good game last night, had 20 something. But they have a lot to look forward to this offseason. They're gonna have maybe 2 lottery picks, which is super fun. They're gonna have the worst pick in the lottery, but still they're gonna have Klay Thompson coming back. Hopefully James Wiseman coming back.
Yeah. This team is gonna be scary.
An off season to train with Draymond Green more. Like I said, if they get that Timberwolves pick, that's top 3 protected. Timberwolves have like the 5th best odds right now. So as of right now, the Warriors are gonna get that pick. So Warriors definitely have a lot to look forward to.
Imagine if the Warriors have the 4th overall pick.
And you have 2 dudes on large contracts that you could trade with Wiggins and Oubre if you want. I'm not saying you have to. I think they should keep Wiggins. I think he was fine.
Oubre.
But yeah, I think you could trade Oubre, maybe get Lonzo Ball. I'm just throwing something
Ben
out
Simmons,
there.
Blossoff, Bradley Beal,
Jokic,
KD. Giannis.
Yeah, I was LeBron. But yeah, Warriors next year, I think will for sure be back in the playoffs. It does suck that they missed it, though. I will say I would have preferred them to beat Memphis. No hate to Memphis, but I would have loved to see Steph Curry as the 8th seed.
But I am damn excited to watch John Morant. But he's probably going to get steamrolled. I mean,
well, let's talk about it. Let's get into it. So let's talk about the playoffs, man. I am so excited to do our predictions. Last year we did this. My predictions were so wrong. The bubble playoff predictions. I predicted the Raptors to go back-to-back, playing against the Clippers in the finals. Both teams lost in their conference semifinals, so I didn't even have them in the conference finals. So, yeah, let's do it. Start off in the East or West?
East.
All right. East. First series, we have the 1-seeded Philadelphia 76ers against the 8-seeded Washington Wizards. We have the amount of, you write down the amount of games and everything too, or you can just think of it.
I can.
Think of it off the top.
I have the teams, but I didn't do the games.
So, Philly versus Washington. It would be awesome to see Washington win. I'm going to root for them. I don't really like Philly that much, so I'm on Team Westbrook out of this Westbrook Embiid beef. I like Bradley Beal a lot. Sixers and 5.
Yeah, Sixers and
With
4.
all that being said, I think Washington could maybe sneak out a game, maybe. So I'm giving them 1. Sixers and 5.
I'll go Sixers and 5 too. I'm gonna write that down.
All right. Yeah, because we got to make it close. So
Second
round, the East first round matchup. Okay, all the first round matchups are really hard, but
yeah, they are.
The ones in the middle, like the 4-5 and the 3-6 for both of them, are pretty. Actually, kind of. This one's tough though. 4-seeded New York Knicks for the first time since 2012 are in the playoffs against the 5-seeded Atlanta Hawks, who's in the first time in the playoffs for a while. 2 teams that have a lot of guys that don't have much playoff experience. I mean, the Knicks do with a couple of their veterans, but they're not their best players by any means. Both of these teams' top players have no playoff experience. Did you know that the cheapest ticket in the Garden right now is $850 or something to go see one of these games? crazy expensive.
That's insane.
This series is going to be really good. I think this is going to be a really good series. I'm going to be rooting for the Knicks. With all that said, though, I got the Hawks in 7. I think that the Hawks are gonna be able to pull it out.
I've got the Knicks in 6.
Okay.
I couldn't believe all this build up and all this hype for it to be a disappointment.
See, that's why I picked the Hawks. I feel like there's just so much hype around the Knicks that they're just like not gonna win this series.
You think they're gonna lose a home game in this series?
Did I ever say they were? You don't have to in a 7-game series.
They have 4 home games.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's true. Yeah, they will.
Dude, 13,000 fans at the Garden. I don't know, man. I don't think they win a game.
Yeah, dudes go off and the away teams go off in the Garden. Trae Young is about to have 40.
It's a different year. It's a different Knicks. This isn't the same Knicks.
This is going to be a really good series.
I cannot wait for this series.
I can just see the Hawks winning, so I got Hawks in 7.
No, literally you could pick, for almost all these series, you could go either way, and I wouldn't even be.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to really argue it.
Next, on to, in my opinion, easily the best first-round matchup. Like, in no debate, in my opinion. 3-seeded Milwaukee Bucks against the 6-seeded Miami Heat. Rematch. There's a lot of rematches in this from last year. This one is the best one. I mean, last year, 1-seeded Milwaukee Bucks pretty much got swept by the Heat. I mean, the Heat went up 3-0 and lost Game 4, like, right at the end, and then they won Game 5, so... Milwaukee, I think, is coming with a chip on their shoulder. They added Drew Holiday. They added P.J. Tucker. The Miami Heat have been rolling, though. They don't have Oladipo, but they've been playing fine without him. They added Trevor Ariza, Dwayne Dedmon, just guys who've been playing pretty well for them.
How different is Trevor Ariza and Andre Iguodala? Like, from
He's
last year.
He's a better shooter, for sure.
No, he is, but like I'm saying, like they're like basically the same role.
But they have 2 of them now.
Yeah.
Iggy's actually been playing pretty well. Like, the Heat have been playing pretty well. Dragic is going to come back from injury as well. Tyler Hero's been playing pretty well for them too as of late. This one is so hard. I skipped this one. I did every other first round matchup, but I am going with the Milwaukee Bucks in 6 games.
And I've got the same thing. Milwaukee in 6. Here's the thing: if
Miami wins, though, that would not surprise me.
If Miami wins, Giannis will be clowned. The Bucks will be clowned. Like, literally, they'll be the most meme team. And unless the Clippers also get upset.
Yeah, the Clippers would definitely get clowned way more.
But, like, these 2 teams have so much that they have to win. If they don't win, it's over. Like, if the Bucks do not win this year, I don't know what's going to happen.
And the thing is, I think this is the year for the Bucks. I'm not saying they're, like, to win it all, but I think this is the year that they are going to at least turn around expectations. They're going to...
I hope so.
They're going to... I don't know.
Unfortunately, they run into somebody in second round.
But like, I don't think they'll lose to the Heat. Is kind of what I mean by that.
That's what I'm saying.
The Bucks are a really good roster, and the Heat. I just can't wait to watch this.
Dude,
Game 1 is today. What time is that? We got to watch that.
I don't know if I'll be able to.
Oh shit! I forgot about that. Yeah. Let me look at the times.
If the Heat have BO, I might pick a different series.
But the thing is, though, the Heat literally
play better without him.
Vio played for the Heat for like 3 or 4 games. Like, he really barely played for him.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, imagine if VO played for them. They might be like a 4 or 5 seed. They probably are.
Probably, yeah. Because, I mean, they were a 4 or 5, and they kind of fell right at the end. The Knicks jumped up. So, Heat Bucks is at 2 o'clock today.
Oh, great.
Mavs Clippers is at 4:30. Celtics Nets is at 8. And Nuggets Blazers is at 10:30.
I will miss every game today.
I will watch every game.
Lucky. Lucky ass.
So, yeah, I got Milwaukee in 6, so... Last first round matchup, Brooklyn versus Boston. This is going to be a absolute battle. Kyrie Irving versus old team. Boston is expecting to do so much. Nets in 4, man. Nets in 4. Boston is getting swept. They are going to murk the Celtics.
Again, Jaylen Brown is here.
Boston is getting swept.
They win a couple games.
I don't even know, bro.
I do.
The Celtics.
They win a game.
Man, the Celtics are a team that I could sit here and talk about for so long just because of, like, what are they going to do, dude? They made it to the conference finals like 3 out of the last 5 years, but it's like, it don't even feel like they're a contender
ever.
Yet they are, like, last year they were 2 games away from the NBA finals, but it was still like, all right, they go to the finals like the Lakers are going to win.
Yeah. There's no chance the Celtics win.
And I don't know. The Celtics are they got to do something this offseason. They have to make some sort of move, and it doesn't have to be something crazy.
Get a center.
But signing Tristan Thompson isn't the move. Like, he's been fine for them, but they, hopefully they can bring back Evan Fournier. He's been pretty good for them, but I don't think they win a game. Like, I don't. It's weird because we haven't seen this Brooklyn team, the Big Three. We've seen them play together like 5 times. So, but every time we have seen it,
it's been crazy.
It's been pretty damn
140
good.
points.
And I think that they are going to kill Boston. And yeah,
seriously, pull
Brooklyn
the trigger
in
on
4.
a trade, Celtics, please. When somebody says we'll give you a player, I don't care who they're taking from you. Get Miles Turner. Do whatever
because at this point, I don't
have to
the
do
only
something.
players that should be safe are Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I
That's
think
it.
because even like there was talks about them trading for Aaron Gordon. Or no, for Vucevic and Fournier, but they had to give up Marcus Smart, and they're like, no, we can't give up Marcus Smart. It's like, dude, Marcus Smart is really good. Like, I think he is the heart and soul of Boston. They say that, but we can't have the same Jay Crowder talk that was 5 years ago either. We can't trade for Anthony Davis because we can't trade Jay Crowder.
or Avery Bradley.
Yeah,
I mean,
like-
they're just ballers.
Yeah, it's like the Boston is always like that. And it's just Marcus Smart shouldn't be at this point. Like, okay, yeah, Marcus Smart is great. You're the 7th seed in the East as a team that should have been a top 4 seed at least in the East this year. And yeah, they had to deal a lot with COVID issues with Jason Tatum getting COVID and not returning the same. Jaylen Brown obviously got hurt, but they were still the 7th seed before all that. They were never like a top 3 seed. They were hovering around the 8 seed the entire year. So I'm going with Brooklyn in 4. Let's move on to the West. First round of the West, Utah versus Memphis. Like I said, we're talking Memphis up. Had a really good game. I'll give them 1 game. I'm going Jazz in 5. I think Jazz defense is too good for Memphis, and Memphis's defense is not good enough to handle Utah. So.
I'm going Jazz in 4 in all
Yeah.
reality. I don't see Memphis.
I'm
stealing
giving
a
Memphis
game.
a game. I feel like they might steal a game, but I'm going, Jazz in 5. Not really much else to say about that one. Next series, another rematch, Clippers versus Mavericks. Last year was a really good series. Luka hit one of the best buzzer beaters in playoff history.
Beef and a lot of it.
Lot of beef. Porzingis, if he didn't get hurt, maybe that series ends up different. 7th
and there's
seed.
the Montrez. Montrez isn't even there anymore
Yeah.
to be beefing with somebody.
Really good series last year. However, this year, I'm going Clippers in 5, and
Whoa.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this was a sweep. I don't think the Clippers are here to mess around. They went really under the radar this year. Weren't talked about that much. Dallas's team doesn't really impress me that much. Like, Luka could go off, have a 35-point triple-double every game, and they still lose every game. I'm going Clippers in 5.
I'm going Clips in 7.
Really?
I think Dallas is going to come out fighting. This is the same team that beat them last year, dude.
They didn't beat them.
That's what I'm saying. The Clippers beat the Mavericks.
Oh, well, you're just talking about the Mavericks.
Yeah, this is the same team that beat them last year. Like, they're gonna go ballistic trying to win this.
Oh,
series.
I know, but that's what I
You
think.
don't think
the
it's
Clippers,
enough
I think
still.
the Clippers are just better. Like,
Yeah.
and I
Oh,
think,
and I
and I
agree.
think the Clippers are really after last year are not. They are not here to mess around.
Yeah,
Like,
they ain't playing games.
They don't care about no Luka Doncic. Like, they don't care.
They don't care about no Luka.
They are here to win a championship.
That's it.
Clippers in 5. Next. This series is probably the hardest one of the first round in the West for me.
Oh.
Denver versus Portland, a rematch, kind of another rematch. 2 years ago, they played against each other in the Western Conference semifinals. Really good series. And Portland ended up going to the conference finals. This one was super hard. I think Denver gets their revenge though, and they win this one in 7. But like Portland could definitely win this series because I don't know who Denver's going to have to contain Dame and CJ. Their positions don't really match up that well, but Jokic is going to have a good
Yeah,
series.
who's gonna guard Jokic?
Yeah, like Nurkic can do his best. I mean, I guess, but the Blazers match up well defensively on the wing though. I mean, Covington on Michael Porter Jr. I'm not saying he's gonna hold him to 0, but
Aaron
he's
Gordon.
gonna do a pretty good job. Yeah, Aaron Gordon though. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I'm going with Denver in 7 though.
I've got Denver in 7 as well. It's that series has
Gonna be a good one.
It could be a movie.
Yeah, I wish we had Nuggets Jazz. Actually, no Jamal Murray though. I guess it
Yeah.
wouldn't be as cool.
No Don versus
Yeah.
Jamal Murray.
So I'm going with Denver in 7. Gonna be a really good series though. And then lastly, 2-seeded Phoenix Suns taking on the 7-seeded Lakers. The Phoenix Suns, man, had a great year. They added Chris Paul. They're the 2 seed, first time making the playoffs. We're gonna see Booker in the playoffs. It's gonna be awesome. Lakers in 6, man.
I've got the Lakers in 6 as well.
Lakers in 6 as the 7 seed. There's no way they lose in the first round.
And I can say that, but I don't know, man.
I wish they were playing the Jazz.
Dude, I wish there. I don't want. I wanted Chris Paul to come to Phoenix. I wanted him to win. And like, what a shitty time.
No joke though. If the Suns beat the Lakers, like the Suns are, like definitely conference finals.
Oh yeah,
maybe finals. But I think if they beat the Lakers, they're in the conference finals.
Yeah, me too. Like, there's no way. If you beat the Lakers, you're in
like,
a 7-game series.
You can't beat the Lakers and then lose to the Nuggets.
Yeah,
like,
impossible.
No offense to the Nuggets, but like that would just be stupid. It's like, all right, why didn't the Lakers just win that?
Exactly. Just let the Lakers win at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine what that would do for like league ratings if Phoenix beats the Lakers.
Oh man.
People would be like, oh, this is why nobody likes the NBA.
No one would watch
watches
it. Yeah, no one would watch it. These playoffs are going to be super highly watched, though. But
I hope
this Lakers-Sun series does not feel like a 2-7. Like
No.
this is
a
not
conference
your
finals.
This is not your typical 2. Yeah, I wanted these two teams to match up in the conference finals, at least in the second round. But
Yeah.
back in the East for the second round, I have Philly versus Atlanta. You have Philly versus New York.
Yep.
In my opinion, I don't think it matters. I got Philly in 5.
I got Philly in 6.
So I think the Knicks definitely match up better against Philly than the Hawks.
Two defensive monsters.
Yeah. For Atlanta, I think that they could beat the Knicks, but it gets to Philly.
Yeah.
There's no hope. I mean,
Yeah,
Trae Young is
Young
going to get locked up, and Joel Embiid is going to feast. So I'm going with Sixers and 5.
Good luck, Clint Capella.
Next series, in my opinion, is I will talk about it later, I guess, but Milwaukee versus Brooklyn. This is going to be the best series of the NBA playoffs, I think. And no matter who's in the finals, I think this is going to be. These two teams match up insanely well. Like, I really wish this could just be the NBA finals.
No, me too.
Or at least the conference finals. Whoever wins this series, I think, is going to go to the finals. Kind of a spoiler alert. Milwaukee versus Brooklyn. I really want to pick Milwaukee, but I just don't see this crazy big 3 losing, because if they did, it would be the world would explode.
Oh,
I'm going with Brooklyn in 7 because of how good these two teams match up. And sorry, Milwaukee, I don't think this is a disappointment that you lose in the second round, because you just had to go up against this crazy good team. I think you come back next year and are still really good, but they could beat Brooklyn. Like,
they could.
They definitely could.
Who's guarding Giannis is the same question.
KD's gonna have to, or Jeff
I'm
Green. I
sorry.
mean, you're gonna have to. I mean, it's gonna be a
Team effort.
team effort. Yeah, it's not gonna be a one-man show on Giannis.
But like, I don't see why Giannis can't go for 45 every night.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
He did when they played. Remember, they played against each other back to back this year. Milwaukee won them both, and Giannis went off.
Like, how Giannis is unstoppable.
And they had the big
against that
3
team.
in one of those games, I'm pretty sure. Like, oh man, I really, really want to pick Milwaukee,
Me too, dude.
But I can't.
It's Brooklyn in 7, and the issue with this is if Brooklyn loses is the thing. I want Brooklyn to win this series. I really do, because I, over the years, have become a very big Harden fan, and I hate the Harden haters.
Yeah, me too. Oh yeah,
I
and
hate
I want
him.
Harden to win a ring.
I want Harden to be successful, and if he loses, Kyrie's career is basically thrown in the trash. Literally, if Kyrie loses this series, everybody will clown him for being one of the worst point guards. Like,
and KD will get clowned.
KD
will get so.
you could
clowned.
only do it with Steph Curry,
Yeah.
and Harden honestly probably won't be. He'll just be considered not a winner.
Yeah.
But like Kyrie, this would be his like 3rd finals team in a row that he's not done anything with. Like, oh man, dude, please Brooklyn win this.
See,
But
that's the thing.
please
I don't
Milwaukee
know,
win
dude.
this.
I want Milwaukee to low key win. I don't know.
I would love to see Drew Holiday in the finals,
Yeah.
dude.
Oh, man, this is
man.
gonna be. I'm going Brooklyn in 7. I want to stop talking about
But
it.
the less I have to watch Dante DiVincenzo, the happier I'll be. I can't watch that dude. He pisses me off.
All right, second round in the West. We both have Utah versus Clippers. This is gonna be a dogfight. This is gonna be a really good series. Utah, shout out to them being the 1 seed. Clippers in 6 though. I'm taking the Clippers over Utah.
I've got Clippers in 7. You want to talk about a dog
Yeah,
fight?
this would be a really good series.
I mean, I am so excited.
I think
for
the
this.
Clippers really just have their acquisitions they made went really under the radar. I think Serge Ibaka is a huge upgrade over Montrezl Harrell. Marcus Morris has very slyly had one of the best seasons for them. Like he's like top 3 in the NBA in 3-point percentage this year. Like that dude has been lights out this year. Paul George been nuts. Kawhi Leonard didn't even play the last like month of the season. And they lost all them games on purpose just so they didn't have to match up against the Lakers in the first round. They added Rondo. Rondo was huge in the playoffs last year.
They matured. It's a completely
I think they went under the radar. Like now no one really talked about the Clippers this year. I think that is really good for them.
Me too.
And I think that they are going to make the conference finals for the first time ever this year. So hopefully.
I think it's the maturity thing. They don't have a bunch of young guys talking hella shit on the bench. Yeah. Like Montrez isn't there, bringing all attention.
And they got Luke Kennard, and Reggie Jackson has legitimately had a good year for them. I know Rondo came in and has kind of taken his spot, but like Reggie Jackson actually is. I think he's shooting over 40% from 3 this year. Like he's having that whole Clippers team has shot the ball.
Yeah,
like,
that Clippers team's crazy.
They shot the ball so well this year.
So excited to watch.
It'd be funny if they didn't end up play. That's the thing though. If they sucked in the playoffs, it would be kind of funny.
I wouldn't care.
Like I don't know. I'm a huge Paul George fan though. So.
I'm not a fan of Kawhi. So
playoff P will be good.
I hope playoff Peach. No, you're right. I hope that he flips the narrative.
Yeah.
Because I hate that narrative. Like I do like Paul
Pandemic
George.
P.
Oh my God, bro.
All right, next one. Rematch of the conference finals last year. Denver versus the Lakers. This series is going to be better than people think, I think. Denver, like, legit could win this. Even if it's Portland versus Lakers, it's going to be another rematch. I got Lakers in 7. I think this is going to be I think the Lakers or the Denver matches up well against the Lakers, too.
See, I do and I don't, because I see Jokic and I see AD guarding Jokic, and I'm perfectly fine with that matchup if I'm the Lakers. Drummond is kind of in there somewhere, and like, who's guarding him? Gordon?
Aaron Gordon, yeah, but I think he
works.
does fine, yeah. I mean, Michael Porter Jr. is going to guard LeBron. I think that Michael Porter Jr. is a pretty good defender. But he's so lengthy. Like, he does his job. You might throw Aaron Gordon on LeBron and maybe Michael Porter on Drummond. You could do that, I guess.
I think LeBron causes a lot of issues.
But that's the thing, though. I don't know about the other way around, though. Like, with I don't know. It's kind of difficult, I guess. Just because not having Jamal Murray is tough. But I think Michael Porter Jr. is going to have a really good series.
Yeah. And I have LA in 7. Like, we're in complete agreement here. Mm-hmm. But, I don't know. I think it'll be a good series. I think there'll be games where Michael Porter Jr. goes off.
It all depends on it really depends on 7 through 10 for both teams, their role players. Or I get maybe 7 through 9, 6 through 9, because it really depends on JaMychal Green for the Nuggets. Is he going to come in and hit shots? Is Aaron Gordon, I mean, I know he's not in that
Monte
Morris, if he's back from injury. Campazzo, PJ Dozier for the Nuggets.
I'm thinking about like Alex Caruso.
Yeah, Caruso, Kuzma,
my word, dude.
Montrezl Harrell.
I got the late, dude.
Yeah.
AC might feast.
ACP, like the Lakers 7 through 10 last year was the reason they won the NBA Finals, in my opinion. It wasn't. I mean, LeBron and AD were great, but their role players stepped up. I think role players win championships.
You can say that every year.
Yeah,
every year you can say they're 7 through 10 stepped up.
Yeah, you
Miami?
just look at the teams that are in the finals or that won the finals, and you see like in that playoff run, their role players probably played really well,
except for Miami Heat.
Yeah, except for that. But even then, like Ray Allen he played well. Shane
Mario
Battier,
Chalmers
had a
games.
pretty good finals. Yeah. Norris Cole played decent. And
he was my
sucked.
favorite player in 2K.
Yeah, so like
Shane Battier was.
This is going to be a super good series. Lakers in 7, but Denver wouldn't surprise me. Like I said, if they had Jamal Murray, they would be my favorite out of the West, and that might be a hot take, but they would be my favorite.
That's a hot take.
They would be my favorite if they had Jamal Murray.
They wouldn't be my favorite, but I wouldn't clown you for having them as
especially
your
just because the Lakers are the 7 seed, so like it's hard to make them the favorite as the 7 seed.
But
like,
they are to me.
Yeah. So conference finals, Philly versus Brooklyn. Both of us have that. We actually both have the same conference finals.
Yep.
So Philly, Brooklyn, 1 versus 3. This is going to be another really good series. You throw Ben Simmons on KD or James Harden. Embiid, I guess I don't really know who he guard. He's just going to guard DeAndre Jordan or
Matisse
Claxton
Thybulle
or whatever. Yeah, you have Matisse Thybulle, he probably won't start, but when he plays, he'll be on Kyrie and James Harden. Going to be really good series. I'm going with Brooklyn in 6, though. I think that Milwaukee is better than Philly. I still think Philly has a chance to win this series. Of course, like Joel Embiid is going to go off. No one on Brooklyn is going to be able to stop Joel Embiid. But I don't think it's going to be enough, so I'm going Brooklyn in 6.
Yeah, and I have Brooklyn in 6 as well. This is one of those series where like some of Philly's players can't play. Like Seth Curry, he can't be on the floor for this series. If Seth Curry
He's
is
gonna have to be though.
but that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
if he's on the floor, he's getting torched.
Yeah, he's just gonna have to play well on the offensive side of the ball,
But like how well? Like
Yeah.
30 points.
or just shooting the ball well. I mean, just if he's a threat from three, it just helps in general.
Yeah, but James Harden's dropping 30 on him on the other end.
Yeah, I guess
Like,
he's not that bad of a defender, but yeah, I get what you're saying though. I think that in the Eastern Conference, I think Joel Embiid is going to be the best player in the East though, as far as like, because I mean I know like KD and Harden are better than Embiid, but like I think Embiid will just have the best statistical.
too.
Yeah, I mean just you look at the matchups every round: Washington, Atlanta, and Brooklyn. Like he is going to probably average 35 in the playoffs, like 35 and 12 probably. So
unless Clint Capella starts cooking.
Clint
but-
Capella, he's the toughest matchup he's got.
And like if Joel
that's-
Embiid just has to stretch
like
him out to the 3
Blake
point
Griffin is going to be his matchup, and I don't know. Blake Griffin dropped 50 on Embiid and back in Detroit.
line. Oh,
So
I remember that.
yeah, I got Brooklyn in 6 advancing to the finals.
Brooklyn at 6.
Then out west, LA versus LA. Man, this is a dream. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I just want it to because it didn't happen last
It'd
year.
be perfect.
And if the Lakers make the conference finals as a 7 seed, why would they not go to the finals at this point? I have Lakers over the Clippers in 6,
Ooh.
but the Clippers could win.
I've got Lakers in 7.
Yep. I just feel like, yeah, I don't know. I just have
This
Clippers,
is a
Lakers in
perfect
6.
series.
Yeah.
Like this is
I want to see it bad.
so bad.
And the one I want to see even more is this finals matchup. Brooklyn versus LA. Wow, this is going to be so good. The Lakers are really deep. They're definitely deeper than Brooklyn, but like I said, I think for Brooklyn, it really not even 6 through 9. 4 through 8 is what matters I mean, they're going to be running 8 deep. You know, like you have your top 3, but it really depends on Blake Griffin, Bruce Brown, Landry Shamet, DeAndre Jordan, even like Mike James, who's been playing well for them. When
he has
yeah,
been.
he's been playing well. Timothy Luwalu-Cabarrot, like those guys are what's going to matter. And this was like a spoiler alert I said earlier. I think the winner of Milwaukee versus Brooklyn wins the NBA title. So I have Brooklyn over the Lakers in 6.
I have Brooklyn over the Lakers in 7.
Really?
The Lakers. The thing about the Lakers,
We had a very similar playoffs.
yeah. The Lakers again. This team is hard to match up on. The Lakers match up pretty decent.
They latch up against pretty decent against pretty much every
except
team. Yeah.
LeBron in a 7-game series against an offensive force isn't like great.
I mean, he's great, but it's just the team he's playing against is usually much better than his team.
Yeah, this is the most hyped up. If this was happening, this would be the most hyped up finals in 3 years.
Yeah.
Maybe
Since
4.
LeBron versus the Warriors.
LeBron
Yeah.
versus the Cavs.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, you have 5 of the top 15 players in the league.
Yeah.
in this
5
game.
No, you got 5 of the top. Oh yeah, Kyrie. You got 5 of the top 15, yeah.
4 of the top 7.
4 of the top 7, yeah.
Huh?
And Kyrie was good this year.
Yeah,
like,
Kyrie
he
was
definitely
damn good.
raised on my rankings for sure.
Oh, me too. He's probably a top 5 point guard. For
But
me.
like I said, I think if Milwaukee, I know I'm going back to it, but if Milwaukee beats Brooklyn, they will win the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
I legit think that. Like,
if Milwaukee beats Brooklyn, LA will win the finals for me.
but I think Milwaukee will make the finals though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
But
hell yeah.
I don't know. I think Milwaukee. Oh my God, I want to pick Milwaukee to win it all so bad, dude. I wish. Okay, so just putting this out there,
On tape.
I have
on
a
the record.
second pick of Milwaukee winning. If Milwaukee winning in 7, so just so I look like a genius when it actually happens.
Except you didn't pick
But I
it.
didn't actually pick it. So if they lose in the first round against Miami, I didn't actually pick it. So
Yeah, yeah. It's a safety net.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got Brooklyn in 6. This would be the dream NBA Finals matchup. Like, there's not one. Like you said, this
There's not a more
would be
perfect.
crazy to watch. I would love to see it. I don't think LeBron and them would be able to pull it off, but anything is possible when you have LeBron James. So,
I would never even miss a minute of these finals.
oh yeah,
Like I would find a way to watch every single minute.
definitely. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Watch NBA playoffs today and tomorrow and the next day and every day because it's going to be super fun. And hopefully you're listening to this because if you're not, that would be really sad. And we'll be back to talk about NBA playoffs next week. Bye.
Peace.